How's it going, guys? It's Cole from See Through Panel showing off my March 2023 comic haul. As always, I'm not going to be going too deep into the stories of these books. I've read one or two of them, but I will be limiting myself on talking too much about them because I do want to cover them in different videos. I will be just flipping through the book, talking roughly about the plot and what made me want to buy it, what gets me excited to read it. So first off, let's talk about Ancestor. I read this digitally before I ordered it and was just enamored with it and had to have it. It comes in this very matte paper, which is a minor thing, but really stands out when you have something like a Marvel trade next to it. You can see that it's not nearly as glossy. All the paper's very toothy. Really nice production, I think. Published by Image, retailing for $15, originally serialized in an anthology called Island. Ancestor was written and drawn by Matt Sheen and Malachi Ward. This is a book about the singularity, about transhumanism, about anxiety. A lot of just really heavy themes here presented in, I would say, an even heavier way at some points. It is alarming at some points, and the art really can reflect that. These bright, almost neon colors, harsh line work. I'll skip forward to a little bit. A world slightly into the future where instead of having like a cell phone, you have this program built into your body, into your nervous system, into your immune system, and you kind of just let it have access to your body, and it swirls around your eyes kind of like this. You can give it partial motor control to allow it to make cocktails very well, for instance, without actually having to learn how to do that. That's very minor stuff. As you can tell, the art is very indie looking, but I think has a very professional quality to it, where the perspectives and the layouts all work very seamlessly, as well as just the anatomy. Like everything makes sense. There's nothing here that's kind of like takes you out of it. Sometimes you see that in more indie work, where something just doesn't look right or the perspective's a little off. Not to mention how they are both kind of interchangeably coloring this. Sheen will draw it, Malachi Ward will ink it, and then either one of them will color it. And that is crazy to me because the coloring is so consistent here. I love these like jagged, like lead, really harsh charcoal lines. But I'll flip to the back just so you can see some crazy stuff. It gets weird. It gets weird. It gets really weird. And it's really cool. And I highly recommend it. I'll do a video on it sometime. I already talked longer about it than I wanted to. Up next is Defenders Beyond from Marvel by Al Ewing and Javier Rodriguez, writer and artist respectively. Retailing for $16 for just about no reason, for a trade of a 5-issue miniseries. Letters by Joe Caramagna, storytellers Ewing and Rodriguez. Rodriguez, as always, coloring himself here. I'm going to skip through some of this early stuff that's actually not from the series. It's from a lead-in from the Thor or something. Not really sure. Haven't been following Marvel much, but I did cover Defenders Volume 1 on the channel, and I love, love, love it. I think it's pretty much far and away some of the best stuff that Marvel's putting out. It's transcendental in terms of superhero work, the way it delves into the mythology of comics and Cape Comics and the history of Marvel is very interesting to me as a person who should know more about that kind of thing, but really doesn't. Here's a beautiful splash from Rodriguez. Color and line and ink. Really all just really impressive to me. I can't say enough about his art style. Al Ewing, everything I've read from him, I think, in my opinion, he may be a genius, a comic writing genius. If you want to know more about the series, watch my review of the first volume or go read the first volume and then this one for yourself. I haven't read this one yet, but I just know I'm going to love it. I love the creators and I love the subject matter of this Defenders team that continues to evolve and kind of delve deeper and deeper into what makes comics so interesting and so alive after so long. So this is something that, honestly, Marvel, I wouldn't expect them to publish, but they continue to do so, so thank God. They can at least make some correct choices. After that, Do a Power Bomb by Daniel Warren Johnson from Image Comics, bit of spot varnish on the cover. Retailing for $25 for a 7-issue miniseries. I think the content of this really makes that price point worth it. Daniel Warren Johnson, one of the most kinetic artists working in American comics right now. Colors by Mike Spicer, letters by Russ Wooten, everything else by DWJ. And yeah, I mean, just right off the bat from this cover and this first page, just the action, the energy in his characters is just palpable, really. I feel like there's energy just bursting out of them in this fight, and they have yet to even begin the fight. It really is. That's such a video gamey, like Street Fighter type image, but I really, really enjoy it. Get to some action. This kick, you just feel this kick, and the hand-lettered sound effects of crack there. You can even see your foot behind his head, just really nestled into his neck, kicking the hell out of him. And that punch just hurts your gut. Like, you just really feel all of the action in this book. The speed lines going through the ground there. Him flying through the air like this is just... Yeah, this is a book about wrestling, if you couldn't tell. I got distracted by the art. I've actually read this one digitally as it came out in issues because I love Daniel Warren Johnson. I love this little indicator of motion. Almost like Mitch Garrett's like. Whereas normally he's one for the speed lines and the kind of dashed kinetic lines. Wow. All the hits in this book just hurt. They just look violent. It is a wrestling book, but in the sense where wrestling is real, it's not the scripted thing. It's really just people beating the hell out of each other, sometimes with weapons, like a chair wrapped in barbed wire, with really high stakes in this Mortal Kombat-esque tournament without all the gore. It's just a wrestling tournament. But the stakes are very high, I won't say, but it has a fantasy element to it. But as always, with Daniel Warren Johnson, at its heart, it is just a very heartfelt, compelling human story. All of his stories just connect to me and usually make me cry at some point. I don't know if Beta Ray Bill did, but everything else I've read from him did. And Beta Ray Bill is amazing, but it's just Murder Falcon and this, and I'm blanking on the other one, but just some beautiful, beautiful stories with really, really touching moments. And he just has a way to convey action that I think he's just been progressing since he started working. And this is pretty much the apex of it as of now. I'm sure it'll continue to get better. There's these like jagged speed lines I'm talking about. Even his arm there. In the speed line. The legs. Everything just to convey motion. I am taking a long time with each book. We need to go faster. Okay, up next. Colonel Weird and Little Andromeda from the World of Black Hammer. Obviously brought to us by Jeff Lemire from Dark Horse Comics. This was never serialized, to my knowledge. It is essentially an original graphic novel, but it is it's an anthology almost, with similar themes that I can tell relating to these two characters, but with different creators and collaborations. There's a list. You might have to screen cap that or pause. $30 US. It's a really oversized hardcover. I'll put a trade down, buy it. Doesn't even fit into frame. So really, really nice. Go great on the shelf with the library editions of Black Hammer. I can't even begin to tell you what this is about. I have no idea. I buy everything Black Hammer on spec. I think that Jeff Lemire has never done wrong in terms of this story that he's been telling. And just the list of creators on this is ridiculous. Just have a look at some of these. A lot of Ray Fox. You get Yuko Shimizu. Terrible with that. Tyler Crook, Andrea Sorrentino, Marguerite Savage. I can't say that either. Marguerite Savage. I'm sorry, Savage. Danny. And then I'm not really sure about Ariella Cristantina. Not sure about Sean Kuraniru. And Tyler Bentz. I'm sorry, I butchered all those names. But when I flip through it, you'll understand. We start with Ray Fox. Getting very loose, very watercolory. I should say this isn't all Jeff Lemire writing as well. There's some different writers as well as the different artists. Very loose, very true to Jeff Lemire's style, but not exactly the same thing. And then we veer into some Sienkiewicz, I see here. Like that's got Sienkiewicz written all over it. I think with the texture and the way the color kind of... Oh, that is actually just Sienkiewicz. That sound effect right there. I don't know if that's on the art or on the letterer, but they really... And this is very much Sienkiewicz up and down on the nose. Just the slam is even in the same kind of typeface that he would do it in. This art looks fantastic. Colonel Weird's really interesting character to me, but the World of Black Hammer, I'm always just loosely attached with. It's been a while since I got really, really deep into it. I did cover one of the library editions recently, and I enjoyed the hell out of it, but I really am into these kind of looser stories that you don't need a lot of background for, which you don't need a lot of background for most of it, I will say. That's kind of the good thing about Black Hammer. Tyler Bentz, I'm unfamiliar with, and this is the first time I'm seeing this page, and I love it. Very classic feeling, but, oh wow, yeah. Okay, so the line work in this is crazy, and the sense of scale is beautiful. Not to mention the layouts where he's kind of bursting out of this panel here. I guess I'll have to turn it to show it to you, unfortunately. Kind of an insert panel with him popping out of it. This is... Who's coloring this? Bill Crabtree. The colors are just amazing, and I love how defined the line work is. These thick black lines for the faces, but just a million tiny marks to show just the details of everything. This is really, really great. I've never heard of this artist, I don't think, to my knowledge. A little bit of Nick Pitara, a little bit of... I really wish I could tell you. It's almost like... No, it's not really Crook. Not Tyler Crook at all. Just the really thick outlines, I think, set it aside from Pitara. Like, Nick Pitara is very, very, like, Lynn Clare, very detailed. This is, like, a mixture of that and kind of having these really nice outline kind of character. And the white line here as well, I think isn't something Pitara would necessarily do. But this panel here could just be Pitara. I hope I'm not completely wrong about that, but it looks like it to me. And this art is killer. Sean Kuruniru. Kuruniru. Okay, I'm trying. Loose, kind of manga influence style. I'm just spitballing. I haven't seen almost any of this book. I need to get through it pretty quick, actually, I'm realizing. The style just keeps changing and looking very nice. And I don't think there's a bad artist in here. I'm going to stop giving credit to everyone because I need to get through this. But yeah, this is really exciting. Nick Robles, this kind of sepia-toned art here. Yeah, really, really excited for that book. I might even skip forward in the release order that I've been reading of Black Hammer and just skip straight to this because it just looks super, super engaging to me. Up next, we have Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 13, which I can unfortunately not show you, as with all Berserk volumes, because they contain a ridiculous amount of nudity and gore, and YouTube does not like that, even if your videos are set to be not safe for kids. Anyway, Doom Patrol by Gerard Way and Nick Darrington. The Deluxe Edition comes with a dust jacket and a really nice spine on the dust jacket. I haven't actually seen it with the dust jacket off yet. $50 US. You are getting about... Yeah, you're getting 19 issues here with some backladder and things like that. Not amazing bang for your buck, but not the worst you could do. A lot of very retro feeling things in here. There's some Darrington art there. So here's the dust jacket while I put it aside for this. Here is some awesome onboard art from Darrington. I haven't really stretched out the spine on this thing yet. I'm not sure if it's sewn or glued. I would really hope it's sewn. We'll find out. But this is one of the things that got me like super into comics. I was already reading comics, but this is one of the first things that hit me and made me wonder what the hell is going on? Why do they choose to do it this way? This is also matte paper. Interesting. Yeah, it's not glossy at all. It's matte paper. Yeah, really, Gerard Way and Nick Darrington's Doom Patrol really made me question why things were happening the way that they were happening, and kind of made me get into the process more of comics and I really appreciate it for that. I'm not sure how it holds up. I just know that it's something that got me to go deep on comics originally many years ago. So I have rose-colored glasses for that. In terms of the content, it's Doom Patrol. It's like zany psychedelic superhero stuff. I can't say much more than that. Darrington's art is absolutely beautiful. I've gone so long for so little books. I don't want to review all of them. It's batshit. It is just really fun and crazy, and you might not understand everything that's going on, but the art makes it all worth it, and the writing's actually very clever if you know what you're talking about. Look at my Batman Universe review video for more of his art, and I'll give you just a close-up real quick. I need to go quicker. So there is that. And we have only one more thing. I actually have both books. I guess I'll show off both. One I haven't unwrapped yet. The Mask of Futo by Severo Tenuta. I hope I'm saying that right. Book 2 here and book 1 here. I'm going to put 2 aside because I've yet to take it out of the shrink wrap. So Severo Tenuta is the artist and writer, published by Humanoids. There's his name in case I'm mispronouncing it. And that would be for $25 US for a graphic novel. I think serialized in 4 kind of issues, kind of like volumes, like European volumes, albums. So Severo Tenuta does the art, Montana Kane is translation, and the rest, I suppose, is history. Jerry Frizen, senior art director for Humanoids still. That's great. The thing that captured me about this was the art, just straight up. It is this is an Italian creator, I believe, but he does have a penchant, from what I can tell, for going to more Asian-themed cultures, like to depict. He likes to kind of have his setting very Asian-themed, I believe. I haven't seen much of it. This is the first book I'll be reading in full, but I did look at a lot of little pictures of his work. I have not a clue what the book is about. I don't much care looking at the art. It is very much in the Humanoid style, but I just don't get enough art that looks like this lately, and I've really been craving something, kind of a deep dive into something completely unknown. Here's a gory shot. Just very painterly, a lot of vistas and landscapes, as I always like to call them. I just love, obviously, I always love how water is depicted in comics, and this is just another great example of it. Yeah, not much I can say. I bought this just completely because I was enamored with it when I saw it online. I bought Mask of Futo book 1 and 2, and then this is a gory part. I'll show off because I think it's hilarious. This guy's a real creep, so it's fine. Gets his nose taken right off his face. You can see it kind of on the end of the club. Here's that mask showing up again. I assume that to be the Mask of Futo. I'm not sure, but I assume that's what it's about. But yeah, I saw this and I've just been really craving the painterly kind of Humanoids European style. And when I bought the 2 books, previews got announced, all the pre-releases got announced, and everything he's ever made is now in previews, and I will probably show it off in like the June or July haul because I'm going to buy his entire bibliography if able, because his art's just that good looking to me, and I love the style. But I need to get going here. This has been far too long for a haul video. I appreciate it if you made this far. Thank you very much for watching. I'm just going to lay out the books over each other slowly. This can represent Doom Patrol, and then this can represent me never being able to show off Berserk ever again because of rules. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you have read anything in here that I haven't and you want to talk about it, please let me know because I will put it up higher on my list and get through it quicker. I do plan to get through a lot of these soon because I'm really hyped about them. Ancestor has a video coming out soon because I've already read it and I've got notes on it and I've been working on that. So that'll be out fairly soon. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace.